Hello developers, welcome back to .NET Ramana. One wrong architectural design can kill your project. Yes, I am telling the truth. So most developers confuse clean architectures and microservices. Some think they are competitors. Some think microservices is an advanced version of clean architecture. Some blindly apply both and still fail. Today, I will explain the real truth. Not a definition from blogs, not marketing slides, but why these architectures exist, what problems they solve, and when they actually fail. By the end of this video, you will never confuse clean architecture and microservices again. You will know which one to use, when, and why. You will think like a real software architect. Okay. Let's begin. Okay. First, we will begin with the clean architecture. Okay. Okay. First, try to understand clean architecture. First, why clean architecture was created? Clean architecture was not created to make a code clean. Remember this word. It was created to solve survival problem. What is that? So large enterprise systems were dying, not because of bugs, not because of performance. They died because of change become too expensive. Every small change broke multiple modules, required database plus UI changes, need full regression testing. The root cause business rules were trapped inside frameworks and databases. Okay, clean architecture exists for one reason, to protect business rules from change, to protect, very important, to protect business rules from change. Okay. Now, what clean architecture really is? Most people say clean architecture separate concerns that shall that swallow. The real definition is clean architecture is a dependency control system. Clean architecture is a dependency control system. It controls who is allowed to depend on whom. The most important rule is stable code must not depend on unstable code. Let's define that clearly. UI change often, unstable, right? Database can change frequently, unstable. Framework can change often, unstable. Business rules change rarely, stable. So what must happen? Unstable code depends on stable code. Stable code never depend on unstable code. That's it. That's a clean architecture. Then the dependency rules, what it is this is the law of clean architecture. All dependencies must point inward. You can see on the screen also, right? So here all rules are inward. Arrow marks you can see that, right? That is very important. Meaning controllers can depend on use cases can depend on domain, but a domain depends on nothing. It never depend on controllers and use cases. This is not about folders. This is about compile time dependency direction. If your domain layer imports entity framework ASP.NET annotation, you already broke the architecture. Okay. Now layers real purpose we will see that. You can see on the screen also, right? So let's go layer by layer, not by name, but by responsibility. So first you will see domain layer. So this is pure business rules. No frameworks, no database, no UI. Example, interest calculation, pricing rules, validation logic. This code shows surveyed 10 to 20 years. Next, application layer. So use cases you can see. So this application layers is use cases, business workflows. What happens when user does some change? Example, create order, transfer money, approve loan. Next, interfaces adapters. So it is very important. Convert data, DTOs, mappings. Next, infrastructures, databases, external APIs, emails, SMS, cloud. Clean architecture says infrastructure is a detail, business is the core. Okay, this is completely about clean architecture. Hope you guys understand that. Okay, next we will see microservices. What we'll see? Microservices, we will see that. But also I will show that. Why microservices were created? Microservices not created because of monolithic were bad. Okay, they were created because of organizational couldn't scale. The problem in large companies is one code base, one deployment, one database, multiple teams blocking each other. Even small change required coordinations, required release meetings, created fear. Microservices solving organizational pain, not just a technical pain. Okay, what microservices really are? So, just wrong definition. People say small services communicate via APIs. No, but a correct definition is microservices are independently deployable units that own their data as well as behavior. The two keywords very important: independent and ownership. Very important. Each service has its own database. Remember this? Each service, each microservices has its own database. It has own its deployment pipeline, has its own responsibility. If services shared a database, it's not a microservices, not a distributed monolith. Okay. Now, microservices come from domain-driven designs. People think that the key idea is bounded context, same word, different meaning. Okay. Example, order service, purchase, shipping service, shipment, account service, invoice, right? Each service has its own language, own rules, own truth. It avoids a tight coupling, cross team confusion. Okay. The hidden cost of microservices, the microservices introduce distributed system problems. Sometimes network failure, latency, partial failures, eventual consistency, debugging nightmares. This is why microservices are harder than monolith. Okay, they are not an upgraded, they are a trade-off. Okay? Now we will see clean architecture versus microservices. Okay, so you can see on the screen also. You try to understand this diagram very good. So what I am explaining here, clean architecture is code level architecture. Okay, controls dependencies, protect the business logic, exists inside a project. But microservices are system level architectures. That is code level architecture. This is system level architectures. Controls deployment, scales teams and releases, exists across the project. The most important truth is clean architectures and microservices are not alternatives. They completely different problems. They solve completely different problems. Enterprise reality is each microservices use clean architecture internally. You can see on the screen how beautiful it is. Clean architecture, it is has the different layers, domain layers, application use cases layers, infrastructures and API. So microservices, it has user services, product services, order services, payment versus notification. So if you combine right here, each microservice, order service is one microservice, payment microservice, product services, use cases, each microservices use what clean architecture. This is the complete architecture of this. So friends, if you understand this, comment section do it. If you don't understand, comment section do it. Again, we'll do one more video about these topics. Thank you friends. Thank you all.